is clear. Copy that, Echo. Proceed with caution. 10-4.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Manpreet Singh here. I'm with
Patwant Manpreet, and today we're going to do a very interesting review, one that we were debating, but you guys probably saw the unboxing already.
Can I do some foreshadowing?
I'll leave the debate you on that one, but yeah, so it's the S21 Samsung Galaxy S21 FE Fan Edition, and we have it in the three colors. We did not get lavender just because, you know what, sometimes you have to exclude one color. But yeah, man, so let's talk about this phone a little bit. There's pros and cons. We were we were thinking like, let's do two pros and cons. And because I thought of two big things I liked and I thought of two negative things I liked. So why don't we start with some of the negative and get that out of the way? Okay. For you, I feel like it's going to be a very negative, and I think you're going to be the con and I'm going to be the pro.
I think that's probably going to be the case.
I'll let you start off then.
All right. So there's a couple things that I really don't like about this phone. The first one is the haptics, and I know you agree with me on that. So this is one of those phones that reminds me of like the OnePlus. Like the OnePlus, I just can't get behind it. As good as the phone is, I can't get behind that. Even the OnePlus 9 Pro, such an excellent phone.
Yeah.
But those haptics are so poor. Like this phone and that phone could be ringing in my pocket, and I would have no idea. Like if it's on vibrate, I'll have no idea that it's happening. So
yeah.
You compare it to something like the iPhone. Yes, the iPhone is expensive compared to this, but this vibration motor is just so much better.
Just to add to your point though, if you get an iPhone SE, its haptics are better too.
Its haptics are better too. So
or even a Pixel 4a.
Those prices are very comparable.
Yeah.
For what these are and that. So even Pixel 4a is like half the price of this. So
yeah,
you literally get better haptics. Everything about it is so much better in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Another kind of sore spot for this is the cameras. They're not the best. I don't ever think Samsung has the best cameras just because I think their shutter speed is too slow. I think if you're trying to catch any kind of a moving object, it's just not going to happen. So you have to take pictures on live mode.
Yeah.
That's pretty true for almost every single phone because if there's quick movement or whatever, the shutter's not going to catch it.
Yeah.
Right? So for iPhones, you've got live photos, captures as much before and after the shutter quick as you can, and it allows you to pick that good shot. You've also got similar settings on these, so it's like you have to utilize them as much as you can.
Yeah.
So those are two big things that I wasn't really a fan of.
Let me add mine. I agree with you fully on the haptics, but I'm not going to list that as one of mine. So because you listed it, I got a freebie there. One thing for me, right off the bat, first of all, I think this is a good phone.
Yes.
But the con on this, that makes it maybe not the best buy out there, is the price. And obviously it comes in two different price sort of fixtures. This is the higher end one, this is the base model. Both their prices are too high. And so my con with this is that, first of all, the price is way too high based on the time it's released. Now this is in the flagship category. It's a fan edition, of course, so it's FE, which means they take some things out of the flagship to make it a little bit more affordable. But the thing is, like right now you can buy if you can find it, you can buy the S21, not fan edition, just the base S21 or the S21 Plus for either cheaper than this or for around the same price as this. With that, you're gonna get the same main camera, you're gonna get a weaker wide angle camera on this. So that one you're gonna get a better wide angle lens, and you're gonna get a way better telephoto lens on that. The front facing camera is decent on this one, I'll give it that. But the main camera is the same. But other than that, and the haptics on that one is quite nice as well.
They're much better
in comparison. Nothing like ultra level, because that's always an ultra phone. But I mean, the thing with this, the caveat is this is a 6.4 inch screen. So it's kind of a little display size that's between the S21 and the S21 Plus. The thing is, it released maybe a month before the S21 Ultra is coming out, which by the time you see this video, might be already announced.
Yeah.
So
it's actually going to be announced in 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days from when we're shooting this video.
Yeah. So right now it's February 6th that we're filming this. So the point is, when that's going to come out, what was the point of this? They're going to have to reduce the price of this to make this appealing anyways.
Yeah.
So why not have started with that maybe lower price? The other thing is, allegedly there has been a lot of supply chain issues with chips and things. So I feel like this phone should have came out in around October, October, September. And that's usually when they release this device, the FE, which is only the second iteration of it. So a little bit long-winded, but I think because of that, they had to release it before the S22 series. But it was so delayed, it's kind of like, I feel like they could have released this for maybe $150 to $200 Canadian, cheaper than the base rates that they're at. So this is $950, this is the base model, Canadian, rounded up, $940 maybe. So if they did this for like maybe $700,
Yeah.
I could have seen that.
I would get behind it for $700.
And the higher end model, which is 256 storage and 8 gigs of RAM, the other one's 128 and 6 gigs of RAM. If they did this one for maybe like, I don't know, 120, 130 more than that, would have been solid.
Yeah.
Like lately, Samsung, since the S21 series, has made their storage increments affordable.
Yes.
Because that really so they could have done something really good here.
I agree. If this phone was like $200 cheaper,
Yeah.
I know I would even push for maybe $300 cheaper, because when I look at like the Pixel A series, I honestly think that's a better purchase than having one of these. You got the same plastic back situation. There's no, nothing special there. And I would argue that the cameras on it are better on the Pixel. I would also say that, like this is very nice because it's very reachable. Like you can literally reach all four corners of the screen when you're using it, so that's nice to have. But you know what? As you were playing with that, I just remembered another issue that I have with this phone.
How about I give you my second con since I'll...
You know what? I'll just let you say it because I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one.
You go for it, man. I don't want to... I'm gifting you this.
Excellent. And the issue is the fingerprint scanner. Fingerprint scanner is it's the optical one.
Yeah.
So it's not the one that is the ultrasonic, which you get on the actual flagship phones. So these are some of the things that they deleted for the FE. Yeah, they added some cool, funky new colors. Like you got, this white looks really nice. This green looks really good too. But that functionality that they took away hits me hard, because there's two things that I really like to have on the phones. One is a super fast fingerprint scanner. Like this one's fast, but it also burns your retinas at nighttime.
So essentially, like, if you guys, like, just a general rule of thumb for us, not to get too long-winded, but you gotta look at your senses, your five senses you have. Obviously, you're not gonna, some people do a smell test on their phones and some unboxing, so I'll give them that. I haven't really seen a taste test. So other than those two senses, you hear, you see, and you interact with, you touch and feel your phone, right? So this has most of that nailed, in my opinion. The touch is not the best, so the haptics, of course, and then the scanner, which is touch-based as well. But other than that, man, like, it honestly, like, this phone, it does have wireless charging. I'm just going to some pros. It has wireless charging. The screen is amazing on it. It's obviously a Samsung flagship panel.
Definitely a good screen. I love the screen on it.
And like the angles on it are amazing. It's a pure flagship panel, and it didn't cheap out on that. The speakers are good on this. To me, the optical fingerprint scanner, because I deleted some animation stuff in developer settings, I made it decent enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not ultrasonic.
Yeah.
But for me, using this, the 6.4 inch, I believe, is like the perfect big phone size.
I think it's a great size too.
Because there's 6.7 or 6.8, like your iPhone, 13 Pro Max. Or I got my Poco here, which we didn't do an unboxing for, but it's here. 6.7, 7 inch display. So I mean, this is a good size.
Absolutely.
6.5. 6.4.
Speaking of the pros on it now, so you've already spoken of one. It actually does feel good in the hand.
That's
like
huge.
Like it is plastic, but it actually feels really good.
Yeah.
As you use it, if you're using it on a daily basis, like just like you said, you're interacting with the screen. The screen is beautiful. The screen is excellent, so it's definitely something that we can I can definitely get behind that.
Yeah.
That's one of the best parts of this phone.
The buttons are good, they're reachable. So,
Yeah.
usability, feeling in the hand. The other thing is with the flagship ones, the edges sort of taper and then build like a little ridge.
Yeah.
This one's almost flat. It does have a slight curve. We talked about that, like a sparkle type of curve. We talked about that in the unboxing.
Yeah.
It's not flat like an iPhone, but it's verging on it, which makes it very comfortable in the hand. It is slippery a bit because it's brushed aluminum,
Yeah.
but it's light.
It is very light. So it's like, it feels like it's half the weight of an iPhone.
Yeah, it does. So in that regard, I mean, it's good, it's snappy, it's 120 hertz. The only thing, this was my second con, like I forgot, like just sneak it in there. This is fixed 120 hertz or fixed 60 hertz. So it's not adaptive. So if you're running at 120 hertz on that, you're up there and you're that the whole time, even if it's sitting static. So that's the other thing, but the battery has been decent regardless.
Yeah, I felt that the battery still has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it's even its standby battery life, it lasted several days on standby, which is I think that's pretty unheard of generally for an Android, unless if you have a Pixel, because Pixel's the only one that loses maybe 2 or 3% per night versus general Androids will lose like 10-12%.
Yeah.
Like, Samsung's definitely lose like 10-12%.
Samsung upped their game a little bit with their Ultra last year with a lithium polymer battery because they've been using lithium ion. But I don't know if this is polymer ion, but I mean, it's 4,500 milliamps.
Yeah.
It's a nice size.
Yeah, it's a great size.
So I mean, other than that, like the cameras are decent. The main sensor's obviously good. The selfie camera with the mirror test, they turn out nice and sharp. I took pictures of my son. He's 13 months old. You get that blur from the shutter. It's been pretty good. Like you can see here, he's moving around. I'm showing him the pictures, but you can see the beard hair test right there.
Yeah.
It's still pretty sharp.
It is sharp. Selfie camera, I don't have any complaints.
Plus it's 32 megapixels, so they put the higher end mid-range selfie camera in there.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, man, like this is still a flagship, but it's like verging on where mid-range meets flagship. It's sitting in that little gray zone in between.
Yeah.
And so I think, to sum it up, who is this phone for? I think it's for somebody who doesn't really care about phones. They just go there and they buy a phone and they're done with it and they rock it for like 2 years, 3 years.
It's still going to do everything you need it to do.
Yeah.
It's going to do everything that any Samsung phone is going to do, and it does it well because it does have that flagship processor. It does have good RAM. Everything in it is good. It just comes down to is the phone build quality something that you really care about? Is the haptics something that you really care about? If it is some of those things that become kind of nitpicky, then it's probably not going to be the phone for you.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the phone for me.
I didn't mind it, but the thing is, like, obviously I'm gonna get the Ultra.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, like, when I was thinking, like, with my sort of everyday, like, let's say I wasn't doing this with you, and we were just sitting there and using phones that we didn't care about. Let's be true, we've cared about phones since they became like out there.
Yeah, like what?
Remember the old
2005
Nokias with the faceplates?
Yeah.
We've been doing all that since day
That
one.
stuff for a long time. So,
But still, with that sort of tech enthusiast mindset, I still like this phone. I would use this phone as like my travel phone, or like a phone that I didn't care if it got beat up a little bit. I mean, it's decent. It's got a flagship processor with a 888 Snapdragon. It's just the RAM, right? You can get 6, you can get 8,
yeah,
you can get 128 storage, 256.
Yeah.
I think it's for the everyday person that doesn't care about tech too much, that buys a phone when it's out. They want something new for warranties and longevity. Maybe it's a phone you're getting with a service provider on a 2-year contract or something, and they subsidize that price for you to get you in. This is a phone for you that's, in that situation, really good. If you're buying it out though, if you're paying full price for this thing, maybe go for the S21, S21 Plus.
I think, even with all that you said just now, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was just gonna say, the only caveat that I would add to that is if you can get the S21 or the S21 Plus, I would probably say go for that instead, just because that is going to be more of a premium device, and you're pretty much getting everything the same. The only thing that you're going to miss out on are probably some colors. Like color selection is going to change a bit. Aside from that, I do like the phone. I do wish it was cheaper. It is pretty expensive for what it is, and as much as I like saving money and stuff, honestly, for this price, I would have expected a bit more.
I think another sort of just easy way to put it is for somebody who's coming from like a mid-range, trying to go to flagship,
Yeah.
this is the perfect thing. It has a wireless charging, it has 5G, it has 120 hertz, you know, it's got that sort of premium main sensor camera. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's got a good, you know, screen to body ratio. So I think it's for that sort of person. Somebody who doesn't care, maybe somebody a little not so tech savvy, and somebody just going for cheaper phones.
I think just someone who just uses their phone and doesn't really care about like what the phone, like someone who's going to use it in general, not to the maximum capacity of what a phone can do, right?
So if you're the type of person who has a dog, so that you can give the dog a bone, but you don't care if the dog returns affection, this is for you. With me, I want to see my device returning that affection by giving me good haptics, by sounding good, by the way this sounds good, by looking good, the display, by the way this has that. So I mean, this is pretty decent.
Yeah.
It just won't show you that love.
Honestly, it's not something that's terrible. Like, you know,
It's not bad.
if you count the cons versus the pros, there are more pros about this phone.
Of course.
The only thing is that those cons are fairly big, and the price just kind of exacerbates them a bit.
It's the price.
It makes them a little bit harder to swallow.
So, like again, just to reiterate, just to kind of top this off and sort of end the conversation, because there's not a lot to say. This guy was about 1050, 1030, so $1,030. This one was $940 or whatever, around there.
Yeah.
And so, that's Canadian, obviously. That's too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I could buy the S21 right now if it was available in stock for the same price as this. And so at the end of the day, again, $700 for this, maybe $850 for this max.
Yeah.
I think it'd be worth it. So
I agree. Losing some money off of it would definitely make a difference.
And I think they tried doing a little perk with giving us 2 free cases, which is on our unboxing.
Yes.
But I mean, what's a case? Like, give me a charger, give me like warranty.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times they throw in a pair of buds. A pair of buds is like $200. It's nice to have.
And honestly,
like a Buds Pro or something coming in with it. That kind of makes it easier, right? Like
a pair of buds would have been a good bundle with this, especially to bring somebody into that.
Yeah,
and it has reverse wireless charging too.
Absolutely. So put the buds on the back there and charge them up whenever you're going somewhere. There's a lot of features packed into this. It's just those few little cons that kind of make that price seem a little bit too steep.
So I mean, Samsung, if you're listening, if you wanted to bundle buds with this and maybe even give a discount on a watch, this is your phone to bring people into the ecosystem, especially newer users or people coming from something else.
Yeah.
Use this to your advantage, because you probably have margins on this that you can bring the price down with and give some freebies. But I mean, yeah, man. Anything else you want to add?
That's it, man. So the only other thing that I'll say is, if you have any other questions or comments or what your feelings are about this phone, definitely leave them down in the comment section below.
Yeah.
And
make sure you guys like the video and also subscribe and share this with all your friends and let them know. And the comment thing is huge, because we're not just saying that, we actually want to know what you think, so we can bring you stuff obviously for you.
Yeah. Like we want to know exactly what you think.
Exactly.
And maybe your ideas are the same as ours, or maybe you completely disagree and you're totally okay with these haptics, right?
Yeah, and maybe you can give us a perspective that will challenge ours, or maybe give insight to us.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to know.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right.
Well, good review. I mean, it's an okay phone. A little too expensive.
But overall, I'd say it's pretty good. All right.
Cheers.
Peace out.